Coming up today, dorms at Trinity are set for renovation.
And it's time for a fiesta in San Antonio.
All this and more right now on Newswave. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. Welcome to our penultimate episode of the Newswave for this school year. Today is Friday, April 21st. I'm Cynthia Morales.
And I'm Noah Gardner. Trinity University has announced plans to renovate Bruce Thomas Hall and Camille Leitner Hall over the summer with some much needed changes to dorm rooms and bathrooms, as well as general mechanical upkeep. The renovations include furniture replacements to enable better personalization of dorm rooms, and changes to the bathrooms, including a larger shower area and a dehumidification units in each room. The renovations are part of an ongoing initiative to upgrade Trinity's buildings to a new standard. Although shared spaces will not be renovated this summer, the renovations are expected to be completed by August 1st. The renovations have been years in the making, but were delayed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Past residents of Thomas Hall have expressed hope that renovations will improve the experience of future residents.
On March 29, after more than a year of planning, the Initiative for Multicultural Greek Organizations was halted by Trinity's Board of Trustees. The board cited the violation of alcohol use policies by previous national Greek organizations in early 2010 as the primary reason for stopping the initiative. Trinity students who lobbied for the inclusion of multicultural organizations are discouraged by the board's decision, but they are not done fighting for their interests. The Tritonian interviewed several students who are continuing to push for increased diversity and inclusion initiatives on campus. Junior English major Jimena Ibarra argued that the creation of a multicultural fraternities and sororities would, quote, open the door for other multicultural organizations to come on campus. Meanwhile, junior political science major Nicole Covarrubias emphasized that, quote, even though we are angry and sad, we knew we didn't want to give up on this project. First-year anthropology and Latin study major Lindsay Reyes highlighted the difference between the multicultural initiative and the former national organizations. When we asked about the similarities, she responded, quote, I don't know why we would compare the two, especially when their missions are completely different. Although the Board of Trustees has informally frozen the entire process for multicultural Greek organizations on campus, the fight for diversity, equity, and inclusion in Trinity's social sphere is far from over. Did you know that we have an award-winning baseball team here at Trinity? Our anchor, Cole Isaacson, traveled down to Lower Campus to talk to some of our Tiger baseball players. Take a look.
Spring in San Antonio means many things. Hotter days, bluebonnets, and Trinity baseball. Once again, the Tigers are off to a strong start in their season, but this year's team is different from others. This season more than ever, run prevention has been the driver for Trinity's success. To explore this further, I got to talk to Trinity's starting pitchers for most weekends, Joseph Shavana, Cade McGahan, and Jackson Tier.
I think you've been here longer. You've seen it more than I have.
I would say the biggest thing between last year and this year is just not only the work we've put in, that's obvious that we've all been very dedicated to the process since fall. So we're going on 9 months of hard work as a team, but also this staff has been more together than I've experienced in my 4 years at Trinity. I think we really love each other, really care about each other, really root for each other. So combine the hard work and us really pulling for each other, it's created that culture where we've had a lot of success so far.
Yeah, I'd say going off of the whole cohesion within the team this year, I know the three of us here, we're all really close, and Friday night I'm pitching, both of them are, in the dugout or in the pen just cheering me on, and then Cade's pitching, and then the other two of us are cheering each other on. But yeah, I think it started mostly in the fall with the lifts. We had a really well planned out fall, and it just kept building on top of each other to where, this year we're all pitching really well. So
Well, I'm the worst person to ask this question to, as I've been here for 2 months. But if I had to say anything, this pitching staff is definitely the most together that I've ever seen. Everyone's cheering each other on. Everyone's really rooting for each other. And, you know, pitching's a very selfish position in baseball. And so to have everyone cheering you on is it's a lucky thing to have.
This Tigers staff is more together than most, whether it's cheering each other on in the bullpen or cooking a steak before a weekend series. There is no denying that this group has a certain kind of harmony.
Well, it started with our little Spring World Series we were pitching on the same day, and I just asked Joe, I was like, you want to get a steak before we go to battle tomorrow or whatever? And he said, yeah. We did it. We both threw a really good game, and so we just kept it going into the season. And it's every time we've done it, we've both done really well. So, yeah, it's just that's what we got going.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say on top of that other than, I don't know, I feel like
Getting better every week.
yeah, I mean, the steak gets better every week, therefore the pitching gets better every week.
While the pitching staff has had its fun, it's also had success. Despite making it to the College World Series last season, Trinity pitching had an ERA of over 6. This year, that number is down to around 3. The improvement is notable, and pitching coach Dave Smith deserves a lot of the credit.
So yeah, I guess, I guess I don't live too far away from here, but, I don't get to go home as much because, we're practicing in the fall, practicing in the spring. So he's kind of just the figure I look forward to seeing, or if I need anything, whether it be baseball-wise or not, I'll just ask him about it. And then I guess I feel like always had a vision of what I can be and what I could be. And so, he's always available there if I need him. He once told me, like, if I ever need anything, he'd drop what he was doing at practice just to fix whatever I need fixing. So, yeah, he means a lot to me.
Yeah, Dave's been a great coach. Known each other for many years now, and we've developed that relationship where we can just talk to each other like two grown-ups and just treat each other like men, and I appreciate that. He's always treated me with a lot of respect during my time here. So yeah, I have a special relationship with David.
Yeah, I would also agree. He's like one of the first coaches that I've had where it's like you look at him as a coach, but you can also look to him as a friend, like even outside the baseball field. Like he's just a good person to go to, a good person to just talk with. And like I said, I've only been here for 2 months, but he's definitely like taking me under his wing, and he's done a fantastic job.
Trinity's pitching has been a large reason for their success this season, and it's clear that it's a team effort. For more Trinity baseball coverage, be sure to tune in to Tiger Network.
Oh, dude! Another enormous monstrosity of a hack by Piper. That's a gets in the gap! Yeah. He's on too!
Don't own a couple of acres, a kind of lady and a place to take her. Few good friends I can count on one of my hands.
Thanks, Cole, for that package. And make sure to watch Trinity play Shriner today at 6 and tomorrow at 1 and 4 in person or on the Tiger Network. During the 2023-2024 school year, we will be welcoming a new dining option to Trinity's campus, Breakfast & Co. This decision demonstrates the ongoing commitment of the Student Dining Advisory Committee, SDAC, to take students' wants into consideration when it comes to food on campus. Breakfast & Co.'s menu will include omelets, pancakes, hot honey fried chicken, sandwiches, breakfast burgers, overnight oats, French toast, loaded brisket fries, and much more. This next year will also feature the university's first dietitian. While Trinity has had dietary services in the past, they oftentimes held more of a regional role with various universities. This new dietitian will be more Trinity-focused in an attempt to provide students with a more personalized dining experience.
Still coming up, Biden is anticipated to announce his re-election campaign.
And our recommendations for some fun fiesta events this season.
All after the break.
I call you and say, I'm with the IRS. You owe back taxes, and if you don't pay today, you're going to jail. You can fix this by sending cash. And you actually believe me? Too smart to fall for it? Well, last year, Americans paid $100 million to guys like me. 1 in 6 people were scammed. Can you believe it? Well, you shouldn't. I just made that up, too. You are a little gullible.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back to Newswave. Fort Hood, a small town north of Austin, Texas, is being renamed to Fort Cavazos on May 9th in honor of the Texan hero, General Richard Edwards Cavazos. According to a press release at ksat.com, the fort is one of the 9 Army installations that will be redesigned with the Naming Commission's recommendations to remove certain titles that honor the Confederate States of America. General Cavazos was a veteran of both the Korean and Vietnam War, and the dedication will serve as a symbol of his commitment and bravery in the armed forces. General Cavazos was the first Hispanic member of the Army to reach the rank of Brigadier General in 1976. The general lived in San Antonio during his first 33 years of retirement and is buried at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery.
According to a new report from LendingTree, borrowers in Texas face the second largest amount of student debt in the U.S., just behind California. The 2023 report collected data from the U.S. Department of Education on each of the states and their borrower statistics. The report found that over 1.3 million Texans have been approved for an estimated $18.1 billion in student debt relief, averaging roughly $13,000 in forgiveness per debtor. Additionally, 1.2 million borrowers are potentially eligible for $28.2 billion in forgiveness. However, President Joe Biden's forgiveness plan is currently being reviewed by the Supreme Court, and the future of the student loan forgiveness remains uncertain. Payments for these student loans are set to resume on June 13th if no ruling is issued before then. Borrowers have up to 60 days from that date to resume payments if no ruling is issued. San Marcos CISD has officially approved a plan to hire armed marshals for its 8 elementary schools, according to ksat.com. The marshals' responsibilities would include patrolling the campuses, performing security checks and audits, and conducting safety training drills. The plan calls for each school marshal to carry a concealed handgun and for their identity to be confidential, according to school board documents. This decision is being faced with mixed reactions, but the primary opposition comes from the fact that the marshals will be not identifiable in any way, not even to students, and will carry concealed handguns. Bonnie Bevers, youth pastor at San Marcos United Methodist Church and a volunteer for the school district, was among those opposed to having marshals on campus whose identity would not be provided to the students and parents. She said, quote, "As a family and youth pastor, I spend my days working with students at San Marcos. I cannot count the number of conversations we have had about their fear of guns on their school campuses. Having armed law enforcement officers on the school campus adds a sense of safety and security to their minds. They can see who is there to protect them. In arming school district employees and asking them to remain anonymous and carry a concealed weapon, we are adding to the anxiety of our students."
If you're looking for something fun to do these upcoming weeks, the Alamo City will witness 10 days of never-ending and electrifying parades, performances, and festivities as it kicks off Fiesta San Antonio 2023. As in previous years, the celebration will serve a noble purpose, with earnings being used to fund scholarships, community organizations, and other charitable causes. There are a variety of fun events to explore. Today until Sunday, we have the annual Fiesta Oyster Bake at St. Mary's University and Taste of New Orleans at Breckenridge Park. A carnival full of rides and the giant turkey legs can be found at the Alamo Dome this entire 10-day holiday. There are so many fun events to enjoy. So we here at Newswave hope everyone has a safe but fun fiesta.
Up ahead, expelled Tennessee representatives are reappointed.
And then your sports news from Caleb.
We'll be right back.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Welcome back. According to a recent study by Dartmouth College, trends in global warming are causing Major League Baseball to experience a rise in home run numbers. This study, which was released just a few days ago, showed as the temperature heats up, so do the home runs. As air heats up, it becomes less dense, meaning that the air is less thin. Lower density air allows the ball to travel farther with less air resistance, signaling a correlation between climate change and home runs. According to the study, every degree of temperature increases in 1% rise in home runs. Though climate change has been slowed in recent years thanks to environmental protection efforts, estimates place the current number of heat-assisted homes run at around 50 per MLB season.
The Ultimate Fighting Championships, or UFC, hosted its 287th fight this April. Our reporter Max Gregg has the recap. Take it away, Max.
On April 8th, we were treated to UFC 287, and the headline fight was Israel Adesanya, aka Izzy, versus Alex Pereira in the middleweight division at 185 pounds for the unified championship of the world. For the longest time, Alex Pereira has been Izzy's kryptonite in the octagon. In fact, Pereira had defeated him in 3 consecutive championship fights before April 8th. Alex Pereira is a 2-division championship in kickboxing, having held the middleweight and light heavyweight title at the same time. Izzy was in the kickboxing sport as well, being the champion in the middleweight division before being in the UFC. He lost twice to Pereira before in kickboxing title matches. Those losses probably helped Izzy's career later on in a different combat sports competition, MMA, mixed martial arts. The first time in MMA they fought on UFC 281, and it was a fight Izzy was winning and in control of. But Pereira caught him with a left hook in the 5th round to drop Izzy, becoming the new UFC middleweight champion. After the fight, Izzy was calling for a rematch, and many other fighters were giving their comments on the fight. Now what happened April 8th for UFC 287 was a fight that started off even. Izzy and Alex were scoring points, but in the second round, Alex Pereira started teeing off on Izzy, and it looked like the fight might turn out like the first one. Suddenly, Izzy found an opening and let go a huge right hand that wobbled Alex. Izzy then followed up with another right hand to the temple. Alex fell to the mat, and Izzy landed a hammer fist that sent Alex to the shadow realm. Turns out the 4th time's the charm for Izzy. This was a huge victory for Izzy. He finally got revenge and got his throne back. We don't know what is going to happen next for Alex. Some people are saying he's going to move up to 205-pound division in the UFC. I, for one, wouldn't mind seeing a 5th match between the 2 fighters at 185. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good day.
In national news, 2 Tennessee Democrats have been removed from the state Congress due to their participation in a gun control protest. Representatives Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson all took part in advocating for better gun reform following the school shooting in Nashville. However, with Tennessee Republicans running both the House and Senate, a vote was conducted that resulted in the expulsion of 2 members, Representative Justin Jones and Justin Pearson. The U.S. News and World Report explains that, quote, GOP leaders defended their actions as necessary to send a message that disruptive protests in the Tennessee House would not be tolerated, end quote. But this is not the first time Tennessee Republicans have tampered with legislative structure. They have established what is known as suspending the rules, which allows lawmakers to step aside usual procedures. This suspension tactic was not only used to ensure the Republicans' removal, but, quote, GOP members have increasingly used parliamentary maneuvers to cut off debates, particularly on controversial topics ranging from abortion to LGBTQ+ issues and guns. Nationwide critics have attacked the expulsions, with some describing it as a, quote, assault on our democracy. These representatives have now been reappointed to the House by their district bodies.
The U.S. Department of Transportation is allocating $350 million for wildlife crossings on busy roads over the next 5 years. This is the largest amount of money the Department of Transportation has ever spent on preventing vehicle-wildlife collisions. The money will be used to track animals, build wildlife corridors by busy roads, and add additional warning signs reminding drivers of wildlife crossings. On the average, more than 350 million vertebrate animals are killed by traffic in the U.S. every year, going along with an average 200 people that are killed in accidents involving wildlife. A large amount of funding was used with the hope of decreased wildlife vehicle collisions and decreasing the deaths on our highways.
Still ahead, your update on sports from Caleb.
We'll be back in 60 seconds.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov. Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Welcome back, and now we'll turn it over to Caleb for sports. Caleb?
Thanks, Cynthia. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the penultimate sports segment of the season. First off, Trinity Baseball starts its final home series of the year this weekend, facing Shriner in a critical SCAC matchup between the 2 heated rivals. The Tigers lost last time out at St. Thomas 1-2 in the series, with both losses coming down to a single run. Trinity's 11-4 record in SCAC play currently has them sat 3rd in the conference, and every game matters as we hit the final stages of the year. On the other hand, softball currently sits at 6th in the SCAC due to a 4-10 record in the conference so far this season. This includes 3 straight losses to number 3 ranked Texas Lutheran University, who defeated the Tigers at home last weekend. Trinity's final home series is against Dallas, who sit at the bottom of the conference. Meanwhile, in professional sports, the NFL draft starts next Thursday, with no clear picture on who's going to be taken where with the first picks. The Carolina Panthers will be picking first overall this season after a trade with Chicago and are looking at either quarterbacks Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud for the first pick. The Houston Texans will likely take whoever the Panthers don't, and the question marks around the Arizona Cardinals continue. Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay has been coy leading up to the draft, though we all know that they will likely be going with the worst option of the 3 quarterbacks in the form of Will Levis. After that, the draft gets very complicated with a number of predictions that have wild amounts of permutations. The Dallas Cowboys are hoping to grab University of Texas product Bijan Robinson with their pick at number 17, though there have been rumors that the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is not afraid to move up to select a star running back earlier. Moving away from football now, the NHL playoffs started this week with Texas's team, the Dallas Stars, tying their series against the Minnesota Wild at 1 game apiece. Game 1 was highlighted by the Stars losing star player Joe Pavelski, who was ruled out of Game 2 and Game 3 due to a concussion. The series heads to St. Paul, Minnesota tonight, where Dallas will hope to get the edge on the Wild on the road. Meanwhile, the Texas Rangers continue a season that is starting to look more like a sign of things to come rather than a fluke, as they dominated the Kansas City Royals in 3 straight games. The Rangers have scored 45 runs in their last 2 series against the Houston Astros and Kansas City Royals, only allowing 16 runs in return. In that span, the team went 5-1, with their only loss being to the Astros. We'll talk about the Astros in a moment, but first some major news that came out of Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. It was announced that the Oakland Athletics, who have been in the city since 1968, will soon be moving to Las Vegas as the last professional sports team leaves the city. It's a devastating blow for the city as back-and-forth negotiations between the team and city stalled and are now dead in the water as the A's mark an end to 55 years in the city. Now for the Astros, the team now sits at second in the American League West behind the Rangers. The team has a 9-10 record as we approach the end of the first month of the season. Their recent series include a 2-1 series win over the Toronto Blue Jays and a 1-2 series loss against Texas, and they will start a 2-game series against Atlanta tonight. That's all for this week, but I will see you all next time for the final news wave of the season. For now, though, take care and have a fantastic weekend.
And that's all the time we have for this week. Before we finish off, I just want to congratulate Noah as he's doing his last episode with us before he graduates.
Thank you so
He
much.
has done so much for TigerTV, and I know this means a lot to him. So we hope to see you guys again for our final episode for the end of the school year next week on Friday, April 21st.
From everyone here at Newswave, we hope you have a safe and fun fiesta. I'm Noah Gardner.
And I'm Cynthia Morales. We'll see you next time.